YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Producer. And if this is your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And yeah, y'all gonna have to excuse me. So hit the notification bell every time I post up new content. Uh, with all of this stuff that goes on, right? And for the most part, I know that y'all heard about the stuff that happened in Nashville a couple days ago, right? And then I was actually like, well, let me say this, with all of the stuff that's going on, right? The shit that happened in Nashville and what President Trump is actually like really trying to push the last, few days that he actually really has in office with this, with the vaccine, so-called vaccine, the $600 check that for the most part, I really don't think, even though Congress did pass it, but the president still got to sign it. And for the most part, they actually really, from what I'm hearing, they were saying that he may or may not sign it because he wants to give everybody 2,000. He wants to give everybody 2,000 instead of this bullshit 600. That they're actually really trying to put out there. So, and then I actually really went back to a song that Public Enemy put out September. Actually, the name of the CD is called "What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down," right? And for those of y'all that actually really haven't heard any of the tracks on that CD or album or whatever the fuck they call it these days, go download, go buy, do whatever it is that you do, as far as like music goes, right? But then I thought about it for a minute. Now here it is that they're asking the question, what you gonna do when the grid goes down? Now everybody for the most part is actually really thinking, well, I'm not gonna say everybody, but let's just say for those that actually really think they finna cut everybody's motherfucking lights off, right? Now, and then I actually really saw some stuff a while back on another channel, right? That they was actually really, with all of these power outages in big cities, they were like, see, they get in practice, right? But if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, right? You talking about an entire country, everything shut down, right? Considering how everything is now ran, right? And it's just not here in the United States. Let's just say that chances are it'll happen the whole world over. But you actually really got to stop and think about something for a minute, people. Put it like this. Yeah, you actually might want to get, they might actually really want to get what they call the useless people out of there, right? But at the same time, right, you don't go cutting off your arm just because it may take out everybody else. Now I say all that to say this. What you gonna do when the grid goes down? Well, for those of y'all that actually really don't know, the state of Texas has its own power grid. It is not, unless the shit done changed, the state of Texas has its own power grid. It is not hooked up to the rest of the goddamn country, right? But even then, right, what I'm actually really trying to say is this. The grid has, the grid has already shut down. It's already shut down, right? Because if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, when this so-called bullshit ass virus came to play, right? What the fuck you actually really think it did, right? People have lost homes, their cars. They can't take care of their kids or themselves like how they used to before before the so-called coronavirus even come out. Now they want to sit up and say, well, it's gonna be a long winter. Oh, you goddamn right it's gonna be a long winter, because the thing about it though, listen, you ain't got no job, right? Due to the coronavirus, right? And for what I'm hearing, right, a lot of the government funds, like unemployment insurance, whatever, a lot of that stuff is either has already ran out or is about to run out, right? So even more people are actually like really going to be out on the streets, right? Now you can actually really look at this one or two ways, right? You can actually really look at it and be like, okay, well, if people are people that they have lost their jobs, they can't keep up the mortgage for whatever reason, right? So now they got to get out of the house, right? So now the question is, okay, where do you go? Do you go back to family, even if you got family? Or does the motherfucking powers that be already have FEMA camps set up for your ass to go? Now I don't know if y'all actually really been paying attention or not, but I know at least here, right? At least in some cities here in Texas, right? You really haven't seen a whole bunch of homeless people around, right? Now whether or not these people have died, I don't know. But I actually really think that for the most part, they probably looking at these people and say, well, hey, look, you already ain't got no job, so you come on, we gonna go ahead and just bring your ass in the motherfucking FEMA camp, right? Where that we can inject you with all types of shit. And for the most part, you gonna you like, okay, well, what the fuck you gonna do? Stand back out here, hoping that somebody will feel sorry for you and give you some money? But then again, I've always looked at these so-called homeless people as bogus ass people in the first place. 9 times out of 10, they probably got more money than some people that are actually working, right? But it's just like I said all that to say this, right? When they came out with that song, right? What you gonna do when the grid goes down? Well, the grid has been down, right? And then even before that, they was actually like really talking about money shortage or corn shortage or whatever. And I told y'all then, the money shortage was well into effect before these motherfuckers actually really said anything about it, right? I mean, because again, go back, look at history. Look at what the fuck President Nixon did back in 1971. When he actually really took away the Gold Standard Act to back up the dollar, right? So if you had to really stop and think about it, money, so-called money, ain't been worth shit since 1971. And then again, you almost got to ask yourself then, was it really worth a dime? I try to say damn and dime at the same time. But you actually really got to ask yourself, was money really worth a damn back then? Even before President Nixon did away with the Gold Standard Act. See, these are the questions that you actually really need to ask yourself, right? So again, you actually really look, and so again, people go along every day with their life thinking that everything is kosher, knowing damn well it never was to begin with. See, a lot of, like I said, a lot of people always sit up here holler about, and you know, and for the most part, this is the reason why I do the shows the way that I do the shows, because for the most part, and I know I've said this many times, right? Just like I said, when, put like this, when a house catches fire, right? And then you as an individual, whatever, you know, you smell it, you see it, and then the average motherfucker ain't gonna try to put it out, depending on how big the fire is, right? So you gather up what you gather up what you can, you gather up your family, whatever, call 911, fire department comes out, police department comes out, ambulance, the whole nine, everybody come out, right? And the news media, they'll come out, right? And then, and so for a lot of people, they'll just sit up here and say, hey, guess what? We had a fire in such and such a city, such and such a house, right? X amount of dollar of damages was done to the house, but everybody got out of there, right? But then again, here's the deal. Now you actually really got to figure out, okay, well, what caused the fire in the first place? Was you smoking a cigarette and you fell asleep and it caught fire that way? Or was you cooking something on the stove and you fell asleep and it got out of hand? Faulty wiring, you know? Or did somebody actually really just pour gasoline all over the motherfucker and then set it ablaze that way? Right? So like I say, so this is where like the so-called forensics people come out and say, oh, well, this is, okay, the house burned down, this is why it burned down, right? And then a lot of people gonna be like, okay, well, all right, well, we know how the motherfucking fire started. People that came out and put out the fire, everybody's safe for the most part. But even then, you actually really got to go beyond that why, right? You know, you got to be like, okay, for you know, okay, especially like if it's faulty wiring. So now you got to ask yourself the question this, okay, faulty wiring. So, okay, why the fuck was the wire faulty in the first goddamn place? Again, that's what the fuck you gotta ask yourself, because a lot of this shit, whether it's in the goddamn house, your motherfucking car, appliances, whatever, a lot of this shit, if all of this shit is designed to fuck up. So you can either do one or two things. You can actually really have the repairman come out to your house, fix your shit that they already knew was gonna fuck up any goddamn way, right? Or take your car to the shop so they can fix your shit because they already knew it was gonna fuck up any goddamn way. Or just actually really go out and buy you some new appliances, whether it be a refrigerator, washer and dryer, TV, whatever. Because guess what? These motherfuckers that make this shit, they already knew it was gonna fuck up any goddamn way. So again, all of this motherfucking power grid shit, guess what, people? The power grid was already down. Years before these motherfuckers started talking about this shit. And like I said, and if you actually really think old Paulus Harris is bullshitting you, right? Just go back and look at what the fuck I just told you. Go back and look at what the fuck happened back in 1971, right? Then actually really go back and look at what the fuck happened earlier part in this. You know what? I almost caught myself. So for the purposes of this show, right? I'll actually say, well, hey, look, go back and look at what the fuck happened in January of this year. late January, right? So again, right? You almost gotta look at this shit, right? Look at this shit, because these motherfuckers, they actually really, if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, these motherfuckers, they actually really speak in paraphrases, right? Because like I said, again, right? For them to actually really shut down a power grid, the whole country over, right? If that happens, that shit is actually really going to make 9/11 look like a motherfucking school picnic. Because basically what you're saying is that all this shit just gonna shut down all at once. When in all actuality, right? When you actually really look at a power grid, right? Put like this. If you working or you was working, whether it was you by yourself or you and your wife or whatever, then you get kids, right? Then here come the bullshit coronavirus, scare the shit out of everybody, right? So depending on what you had saved up, right? And the motherfucker be like, okay, well, lost my job due to COVID-19, right? So then put like this, then you can actually really go maybe like about 2-3 months. Again, depending on what type of job you have, where you staying, right? And whether it's actually really you by yourself or you actually really got a family, right? So again, you can put this, you can only last for so long, right? It's almost like, okay, look at it. Well, look at that. See that light, the light bulbs right there? Now, for the most part, and yeah, I gotta change out some of them, but here's the deal, right? I go right now we already know, I go touch that, either one of those light bulbs, I touch it, my hand is gonna be hot. But then I go cut off the light switch, guess what? It's still gonna be hot, but eventually that motherfucker gonna cool off, right? So what happens is that, and then like I said, you know, it's good while it's on. Soon as you cut that motherfucker off, eventually it's gonna get cold. That's your goddamn dead winter right there, people, right? Ain't nobody, listen, ain't none of this shit finna get shut down, right? It only gonna get shut down is because these motherfuckers, right? They done looked at the simple fact, okay, hey, social media has always been around, people. The only difference is that we have access to it. And so now they figure, hey, look, ain't nobody actually really paying attention to the actual news anymore, right? So now they got actually really say, hey, you know what? These motherfuckers, they got absolutely too much power. They got the cell phone, they got the motherfucking internet, they got this, they got that, they got the other. So somebody said, hey, this is bullshit. Go put out that bullshit virus. So when the virus comes out, faulty wiring, your COVID-19, right? Faulty wiring. Your house done burned down or it's about to burn down. Now you gotta get out of that motherfucker. Now you gotta get out of that motherfucker, right? So all of this stuff with Chuck D and all the rest of them talking about, hey, look, I applaud y'all, but guess what? The power grid was down way before you raggedy motherfuckers was talking about it. Just like I said, when they were talking about the whole money shortage shit, guess what? The money was already short. It's been short for a long ass time. Since, like I said, since motherfucking 1971. And then it's just for the simple fact, you know, it goes back to this. Always goes back to this, people. Put like this. There was a time when motherfuckers would tell you 2 + 2 = 4. And if they actually really told it, if you actually really heard it long enough, you actually really started to believe this shit. But then, wait a minute, stop the press. Now these motherfuckers gonna tell you, hey, 2 times 2 is the exact same thing. But then they tell you, hey, X is an unknown factor when it comes to mathematics. And then you also got to ask yourself the question is this. 2 + 2 = 4. Is that really a true statement? Because you can actually really look at this so-called plus sign and really ask yourself, is it a plus sign or is it a lowercase t? And again, if you actually really think I'm bullshitting, right? Go back, check out the video I did a while back, which is titled, How Well Do You Know Your ABCs? Right? Because a lot of y'all out there actually really think that there's 26 letters in the English alphabet, and that's a goddamn lie, people. Again, go back, look at my goddamn video that I did. How well do you know your ABCs? Right? These motherfuckers been lying to us ever since. Well, let's put it like this. These motherfuckers been lying to us ever since, I don't want to say day one, because if you actually really know what the fuck happened on day one, right? You know shit really didn't start happening till day 6. So let's just say they've been lying to us from day 6 up until now, right? And then it's up to us to be like, okay, well, look, we already know what the fuck these motherfuckers are about, right? And so what the problem is just like by the time we actually really catch it for what it is, guess what? I remember your ABC video, and oh, okay, all right. So again, you already know what the hell I'm talking about, you know. Just like say if you actually really came in late on this one. So, but if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, just like I say, the power grid has always been down. So actually really, I mean, if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, these motherfuckers, they actually really playing this whole power grid shit the same way that your local pastor will tell you about the book of Revelations, knowing damn well everything in the book of Revelations, that shit already done took place. All right. So you know, so however you actually really want to look at this, the shit that they talking about that's gonna happen has already done happened. It's just that a lot of they'll steady put this shit out there because they already know a lot of motherfuckers gonna actually really think about, oh shit, these motherfuckers actually really finna shut some shit down. Knowing damn well that they already did. They already did with this bullshit COVID-19 virus. Now they want to actually really say, oh, we got this vaccine for you. So now here it is, we got a vaccine for you. Now they just said they got some shit that's stronger. God damn it. They got some shit out there. They got shit out there that's stronger than what the fuck they just made the goddamn vaccine from. Okay? So again, they already just shut this shit down. And then like everybody, like this, everybody don't catch the motherfucking virus, but everybody will catch stupidity. Right? And so then you always gotta look at it like this. You gotta know for the most part, you and only you can actually you know your body. You know your body. You know what things are going to get worse for people. Exactly. Right? Motherfuckers, put it this. if I really stop and think about it, we actually like really got to go back to how we once were when we were kids. Because for the most part, we was some bad little motherfuckers back in the day. Right? So just like I said, for the most part, you almost actually really got to go back to that type of mindset, right? But not so much. Not so much. But actually really go back and say, you know what, motherfucker? I ain't finna take no motherfucking shot. Don't be trying to give me no goddamn medicine. Right? If I sneeze, oh fucking well. If I cough, oh fucking well. Right? That just means that I sneezed and coughed at that motherfucking particular time. Right? Don't mean shit wrong with me. Right? And the thing about what a lot of people don't understand is this. What happens is that these motherfucking doctors, so-called scientists and shit, right? They can show you any goddamn thing on a motherfucking microscope, and you be like, well, okay, you already don't know what the fuck you looking at, and 9 times out of 10, they probably don't either. It's no different than when these motherfuckers actually really want to come out here with this motherfucking DNA testing bullshit, right? And they want to actually really say, okay, like they can really look at your goddamn DNA and like, oh, well, you from such and such and such. Really, motherfucker? So this is what the fuck we do now, right? DNA is nothing more than a blueprint on how the fuck you was made. It's no different than what the fuck a blueprint for a house is, or a blueprint for how the electricity is running in your house. Yeah, you can look at that motherfucker all goddamn day long, right? But if you don't know what goes to what and why, then you just looking at a whole bunch of squiggly ass lines, right? And so basically, this is all what these motherfuckers ever do. They just look at some goddamn squiggly ass lines, and then they'll sit up here and tell you, okay, well, hey, exactly, it's all a scam. People need to use their critical thinking skills. Yeah, exactly, right? But you know what though? For like this, a lot of people can't actually like really pay the cheapest price out there, which is paying the motherfucking attention to what the fuck these motherfuckers actually really trying to do to you. Right? So just like I said, the power grid is already shut down, people. Right? Those that actually really got that the bullshit monopoly money are the same ones that actually really control the banks. Right? Because you be like, well, hey, wait a minute. How come you getting all this motherfucking money all of a sudden? Right? And every time they motherfucking roll the fixed dice, notice that them motherfuckers, they don't never go to jail. They don't never land on the income tax, because ain't no such thing as a goddamn income tax. Right? They don't never they don't never land on motherfucking community chest. The motherfucker don't never land no chance, because again, the dice is fixed. And they already know how to roll that shit. And you so busy paying attention to the board, they steady snatching money out of the goddamn bank. And then before too long, while you landing on the motherfucking income tax, the chance, right, and the community chest, right, you coming out all this motherfucking money, and then God forbid if you land on somebody else's shit. So yeah, you got to come out of money So now they gonna foreclose on your shit, or you gotta take some houses off of your shit, right? Just to stay afloat. You already can't borrow no money because they got all the motherfucking money, right? So again, it's all about how you look at this shit, right? These motherfuckers know what the fuck they doing. And then they put the shit out in movies or they put it out in games, right? And you play it and you be like, okay, you might just look at it as a motherfucking game, but this is how these motherfuckers actually really do shit. And then I gotta ask you another question there, Big Mike. Did you watch the video that I did when I actually really talked about the movie Clue? Right? Because if you haven't, go check that one out. And then if you actually really haven't checked out the actual movie, then go watch the motherfucking movie. Right? Look at the house, look at all the motherfucking secret passages they got, just like all these motherfucking underground tunnels that they got in the US. Same shit. Motherfuckers don't actually really go by their true identity. Right? And for those that actually like really, the people that was actually there, guess what? They ended up, all of them actually really ended up killing somebody that was so-called normal people. Because the doctor, who the fuck did he kill? When you already know you kill your ass to the doctor, yeah, Clue. It's actually like based off of the actual board game. So just like I said, go back. Just like I said, if you haven't checked out that movie, check out that movie. Right? I already told you about the motherfucking Monopoly game. The power grid is down, people. It's been down. Right? So everybody, for the most part, need to stop being some little scared ass little bastards. Carry your motherfucking ass back to work. Go take your goddamn life back. Right? And don't take the goddamn vaccine. Right? Don't believe all that bullshit what you see on television. Right? Because just because a motherfucker actually ready to put some shit in your arm, that don't mean shit. Could be goddamn sugar water for all I motherfucking know. So just like I said, I would tell y'all to stay woke, but then you could be woke and still not know what the fuck, right? So I would say be aware. Let's stop saying stay woke, because there's a lot of woke motherfuckers out there and they still don't know what the fuck going on, right? So let's just say self-awareness. Self-awareness is key. Motherfucker being woke, God damn it, are you aware? Now I know a lot of motherfuckers gonna be like, oh well, being woke and aware is the same thing. No, the fuck it ain't. I'm telling you that right now. So the eyes are useless. Yeah. Bunch of Bird Box motherfuckers. I know you seen that movie. That was like something. And then I swear to every time motherfucker go to the movie, and I'm like, damn, did you go see the Bird Box? Knowing damn well a lot of you motherfuckers went to go see the Bird Box, you was already blindfolded. So for the most part, you still don't know what the fuck happened in that goddamn movie. But in our case, people, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, tell your uncle, your aunt, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, across the street, round the corner. Paulus Harris, aka the Medusa. Till next time, people.